So in oxidation with hot KMnO₄, the condition would remain the same. Okay, like we would be using the same thing, the same criteria, the same reactant, the same oxidizing agent, but we are providing heat. But we are providing heat. Okay, so this K heat. Okay, so you will see that there are three conditions. You will see that there are three conditions. Number one, condition number one. Condition number one says कि if you have this, okay, if you have this, that is R and H, okay, if you have this, so and also one thing, okay, when you are using hot KMnO₄, so rather than the pi bond, the whole double bond would rupture. Rather than the pi bond, the whole double bond would rupture. So I'm supposed to write K rupture of double bond. Rupture, rupture of double bond basically. पूरा बॉन्ड टूटता है ना इसमें, उसमें तो ऐसा नहीं हो रहा था, उसमें तो ओनली वन बॉन्ड वाज ब्रेकिंग डाउन, बट इन दिस the whole bond would be breaking down. In fact, you will see that your one reactant would be breaking down into the two components. Basically ये हो रहा है इसमें, आप समझ रहे हो मेरी बात कि पूरा पूरा whole the whole thing is going to break down. The whole thing is going to break down. ये चल रहा है ना इसमें यार. So होता ये है कि when this double bond would be breaking down, when this double bond would be breaking down, so see this. So see this, you will see the two pieces. You will see the two pieces. The first piece and the second piece. The first piece and the second piece. Okay? ना समझ आया तो उसी टाइम टोक देना भाई. The first piece and the second piece. This is hot. Strong conditions. Strong conditions. The reaction is depending upon your provided conditions. Remember, the product would be changing if you are changing the conditions. ऐसे ही होता है हर रिएक्शन में, ऐसे ही होता है. If you are going to provide mild conditions, so you will see the different products. If you are going to have stronger conditions, you will see the different products. Simple. Since you are doing oxidation, so I am supposed to add oxygen. I am supposed to add oxygen. Simple. Okay. You know, this is, this is aldehyde. This is aldehyde. Okay. This is aldehyde. So if you have aldehyde in the product, so remember, it would further oxidize. It would further oxidize. Further oxidize. Further oxidize. Further oxidation. Automatically. Automatically, it would further oxidize. And finally, you will see this product. You know, this is what? This
Carboxylic
is
acid.
carboxylic acid. This is carboxylic acid. तो भाई आप डायरेक्टली बना दो यार ये, आप डायरेक्टली बना दो ये. Whenever the examiner is going to ask to oxidize this, whenever the examiner is going to ask to oxidize this, so ultimately you can directly write down this product rather than you are going to make aldehyde. But obviously I'm going to say, okay, first of all, this is the route to make carboxylic acid. First of all, First of all, your reaction would be changing into the aldehyde, and then your aldehyde would be changing into the carboxylic acid. Simple. Okay. And also, if you have this product, okay, when you have two hydrogens attached to the same carbon atom, so again the further oxidation would happen. The further oxidation would occur, and you will see that carbon dioxide and water would be formed. Carbon dioxide and water would be formed. Okay. तो मैंने दो बातें बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट बताई हैं यहाँ पर. नंबर वन इज दिस: whenever you see aldehyde in your product side, so ultimately it would further oxidize to carboxylic acid. Whenever you see this product in which you can see carbonyl, this is carbonyl, carbon double bond oxygen. So उस कार्बन के साथ you can see the two hydrogen atoms, so you will further oxidize the product to carbon dioxide and water. But when you will see these products, whenever you have one R group and one hydrogen, one R group and one hydrogen, one R group and one hydrogen on the double bonded carbon atom. What if, what if you have this? Let's suppose, what if you have this? Case number two. Case number two. What if you have this? R, R, okay? R, this is R, this is R. The two R groups attached. You know, R means any alkyl group. You know, R means any alkyl group, any alkyl group. So I'm using the same condition that was MnO4 minus MnO4 minus slash H plus, and the hot condition, I'm using the same condition over here, MnO4 minus slash H plus, and the condition is hot. So you will see that again it would be breaking down into the two components and would be giving you R, then R, then O, then O, then C, then R, then R. You know, this is ketone. This is ketone. So if you have the two R groups on the double bonded carbon, if you have two R groups on the double bonded carbon, तो कीटोन बनेगा. क्या बनेगा? कीटोन बनेगा. कीटोन would be formed basically. Ketone would be formed. Okay. So it depends on the number of R groups which is attached on the double bonded carbon. It depends on the number of R groups which is attached on the double bonded carbon atom. Then you will see the product. Okay, then you will see the product. तो ये है इसमें. सही है जी. अच्छा. Then uh, and also I told you that if you have two hydrogens on the double bonded carbon, so you will see this. And if you have R and H, you will see this. Simple. Okay. So you have to take care. Okay, whenever the examiner would be giving you the reactant, so you have to see which is the case that you're gonna apply on that reactant. Let's suppose I'm going to give you this reactant. Now you have to tell me what would be the product. Okay. See this. See this. Can you tell me? Can you tell me this? ये तो खैर this. Yes. Can you tell me this? I'm going to have hot KMnO₄. I'm going to have hot KMnO₄. Yes. You're supposed to draw the product, then I would be telling you okay, what would be the product. जल्दी से फटाफट. Okay, I'm going to write down the product. आप देखो आपने कहाँ गलती की. Okay, so uh, I'm doing the same thing. Then I would be breaking it down. Okay, तो मैंने क्या किया, यहाँ से ओहो चलो दोबारा बना देता हूँ. मैंने क्या किया कि this part, this part, you will see that double bond O, okay, double bond O, and this is the same plus and this, okay, plus this and double bond O. Now you can say that this is your ketone. This is your ketone, and this is your aldehyde. This is your aldehyde. So I told you that you are not supposed to make aldehyde first. You can write down the final product. You can write down the final product. So this product would be changing automatically. It would be further oxidized and it would be giving you the carboxylic acid just like that. Okay, so this is double bond O, and you will see that when carboxylic acid would be formed, so the OH would be attached. This is the further oxidation. So this reactant has given you the two products. Number one, it has given you first ketone, and then it has given you the carboxylic acid. That's it. Okay, so whenever you see any reactant that is given to you, then you have to see कि उसमें what is the condition. Obviously, this was the carbon carbon double bond. So two R groups. This is the first R group and this is the second R group. Ultimately, I knew that when I would be forming the product, so the ketone would be formed because the two R groups are attached. And for this carbon atom, you can see there is only one R group, another one is hydrogen. So ultimately, when there is one R, there is one R and one H, one R and one H is attached. So aldehyde would be formed and then automatically it would further oxidize and finally you will see carboxylic acid would be formed. So this is called oxidation of alkene with hot KMnO₄. ओके जी. चलें जी, मुझे ये बताइएगा कि if you can see this reactant के this is cyclohexene. This is cyclohexene just like that. Or or let's suppose this is your cyclohexene, okay? And there is only one double bond, and there is only one double bond. So, what would be the product if you are going to oxidize it with hot KMnO₄? Can you write down the product? फिर मैं बताता हूं कि प्रोडक्ट क्या बनेगी इसकी, जल्दी से. हम्म 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 यस। क्या बना भाई, क्या बना, जल्दी से फटाफट। So
Sir,
dicarboxylic acid would be formed, okay? क्योंकि whenever you are going to break down the double bond, since this is the cyclic cyclohexane, like the cyclic compound, so ultimately when the double bond would be breaking down, so this is your skeletal formula. Obviously, there is hydrogen, but we are not supposed to show hydrogen in any skeletal formula. So ultimately, first of all, aldehyde would be formed, and finally, your aldehyde would be further oxidized to give you carboxylic acid. So I have directly uh, produced like prepared carboxylic acid rather than like aldehyde. Okay, समझ आ रहा नहीं आ रहा, ये सुनो। हाँ भाई। ईमान
sir, in
आमिर,
the
ईमान सज्जाद।
sir,
यस ईमान।
sir, in the product side, like why is the like जो normal shape है वो थोड़ी छोटी है ना, तो ये वाली थोड़ी बड़ी क्यों है
अरे
dicarboxylic
अरे
acid?
अरे कोई मसला नहीं, मुझे जगह नहीं मिल रही थी असल में। मैंने तभी बनाया है। उससे कुछ भी नहीं होता है यार, जगह खैर हो गई। इससे बड़ा बना लो, ये इतना बड़ा बना लो, कोई मसला नहीं है। जगह नहीं थी असल में, वरना मैं इसको रिप्रेजेंट कैसे करूं। तो स्ट्रक्चर बड़ा है ना, तो मैंने इसको थोड़ा सा बड़ा करके बना दिया, उससे कोई इशू नहीं है। आप इसको यूं भी बना सकते हो, 1 2 3 4 5 6, और 1 2 3 4 5 6। अरे यार, 1 2 3 4 5 6, देखो जरा क्या है। 1 2 3 4 5 6, ये आ गया जी, 6 कार्बन आ गए आपके पास। 1 2 3 4 5 6। सो इन द एंड there is carboxylic acid. In the first, there is carboxylic acid. Simple. So dicarboxylic acid would be formed. It's up to you, मसला नहीं है कोई। But the thing is that the ring would break down, क्योंकि ring में double bond था। When you are going to provide hot KMnO₄, the ring would break down, and then finally आपका जो है वो dicarboxylic acid would be formed. Dicarboxylic acid would be formed. Easy है, कोई मसला नहीं है। Yes, कोई question? All clear? Tala, what do you think? All clear? Tala. Yes, Tala. Any question? Amina, Dua, हादिया, हफ्सा, मुस्तफा, समी। समी समझ आ रहा है नहीं? शाफे, मोहम्मद अहमद, सिमोना, ताहा। हाँ
Yes,
जी,
sir.
यमुना। गुड हो गया। जैना, जैना गुड। यस।
Yes, sir. No question.
ओके हो गया जी। जुमर, 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 गुड हो गया जुमर। गुड टू सी यू। तो भाई
सर वो
बहुत सारे
पूल्ड
क्वेश्चन
पूल्ड
होंगे।
के KMnO₄ वाला दिखा दें एक दफा।
ये वाला, ये रहा, cold KMnO₄.
बस
Okay.
जी सर, जज़ाकल्लाह।
So that's the end of alkene, obviously. Or then you have to see the past paper questions. So past paper questions may ultimately, you cannot expect only one type of question you will see in the past paper. They would be mixed. Like sometime you would be asking bromination, hydration, hydrogenation, oxidation with cold, oxidation with hot, different reactants you would see, or it's so confusing कि you have to identify. जैसे मैंने अभी cyclic compound दिया तो आपने सोचा कि भाई मैं इसको कैसे break down करूं और how can I form the product. तो to making in making the shape, it would be confusing for you. But after doing practice, ultimately देखो, everything need practice. If you're not going to do any practice, so you will not be good in making the structures. तो आपको खुद ब खुद automatically you would be getting an idea कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए. मतलब it's not as such difficult, कोई खास चीज हो ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. It's normal, but you have to memorize all the reagents and conditions, or then you have to see what is the reactant and how many R groups are there, how many hydrogens are there, so that you can decide whether I'm supposed to make aldehyde, I'm supposed to make carbon dioxide and water, and I'm supposed to make ketone. Let's suppose this is the reactant. Let's suppose this is the reactant. Okay. Uh, let's suppose this is the reactant. Can anyone tell me just a rough idea, okay, what would be the product without drawing the product? Can you predict what would be formed? Aldehyde, ketone, carboxylic acid, what would be formed? कोई idea है किसी के पास? Yes. Hmm. It's an instant question. Can you tell me fast? जल्दी जल्दी फटाफट, जल्दी यार, fast, fast.
Sir, aldehyde?
Aldehyde or
Carboxylic acid.
or 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 और जल्दी.
And carbon dioxide?
क्या बात है यार, क्या बात है भाई, गुड हो गया, गुड हो गया. तो ये डबल बॉन्ड would break down, and ultimately you have two hydrogen atoms in this side, so CO2 and water would be formed. And what would be for the rest of the side? So you will see directly carboxylic acid. That's it. Okay. तो भाई ये है art. You have to identify कि what I'm supposed to write down the product. तो ये है. If you are good at identifying the reactant, तो no matter, कोई मसला ही नहीं है कि भाई you would be forming the product. But obviously you must know the difference between the cold product and the hot product. Okay जी, good हो गया. So that's it.